Not as loud as Donnie, but I can't use the microphone either because I'm very much used to having free reign as well.
All right.
So this is something called Quest. South Louisiana Creoles often fancy the Cajun do-si-do. I have never learned to zydeco, never finding the need to force double left feet to accept what is proclaimed to be my cultural custom. I always leave the quest of dancing to my restless fingers, but sometimes even they can't find the beat. They often dance the way a cowboy does when the sheriff is forced to surrender, dodging bullets of confusion, impatient, and uncomfortable, until they fondle the sharp violin strings of the composition making up our family tree. Taken aback with more flexibility than stubborn joints would allow, they learn to salsa through the Caribbean, caressing dark Cuban and Dominican skin, can-canned under the French rule of thumb waltzing into England, stomped their last dance in the Nago nation of Nigeria, where they took a dramatic pause to escort Rose onto the stage. The Nigerian woman who was chosen to be the secret wife of a Frenchman and bear the womanly pains of becoming the ancestral mother of my family of Creoles. Skin strangely colored like graphite, penciled in more sharply than the images she bore. She stood alone, fingers interlocked with turmoil, tossed upon the stomping grounds much like roses usually are, stolen from her roots and objectified, raped of her defense mechanism for puncturing one too many dancing fingers. Index extended, then curling into the come-hither motion, then grappling the trapper inside of a conga, her bare feet squished under firm dancer thighs. She was forced to only finger dance to the drumming atop her new cradle, only free to move her feet to the beat of shackled melodies of patois reggae in Jamaica, before she too would be forced to zydeco in Louisiana, under the embrace of a man who would rob her of her skin tone to make way for descendants bearing permanent tans. Fingers scratched my temple, drifting downward to trace the outline of my lips and nose, questing to find her rhythm in my face. I always knew it was there, but rose-colored blood has long been stifled through the milky boniness of these phalanges. It was 8 generations ago that Rose's fingers traipsed along the path of fingers bathed in bleach to cultivate a series of mismatched fingers. And she did the first thing any new mother does, lacking index to baby's closed fist. But when the comparison of hues was more of a contrast, she felt cremated under her daughter's pale skin, fingers frantically attempting to stir out the salt of waters unknown, letting the Mississippi wrinkle them danceless. The urban mythology fell short in the vein slightly above the finger joints. This kind of voodoo wasn't new. I could feel her curses and scrape straight through my soul, wondering if she considered my lack of polished fingerprints one of her curses, or be proud of my index to thumb tugging at the hem of her over-tousled garments. I never imagined she'd be my lone black ancestor, but I imagined she never dreamed she'd be the finger taste tester burning in a pot of stone soup. Can I get her to admit that I am her descendant? Or would she deem me the arthritic joint spasm that is now in my more milk than honey fingers, frantically dancing the pencil and the color of her graphite knuckles into my identity? Thank you.